what happens is women become so forgiving because we're emotional creatures. We become so forgiving that we often end up giving too much of ourselves. Some, not me, honey. I'll cut you off in a second, and my block list is long as I don't know what. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, KP, and you are back on my podcast, KP on the Mic. We are here with my bestie, Brian Prieto. Tell him your Instagram.
bprieto_lit.
And today's topic is something that I think both of us can really relate to because it's really kind of like the basis of where we created our friendship. And I wouldn't say created our friendship. I would say more or less developed that trust in our friendship where it was like, okay, he's really putting me on game. She's putting me on game. So the topic today we're going to be talking about is quit waiting. So the reason that I picked this topic is because I think that in our generations, well, you a little bit more seasoned than some of us, but we get stuck in this phase of life where we begin to date people, but we continue to wait for that person to be ready. Like, you see so many relationships that are 9 years deep, no ring, 10 years deep, no ring. And it's like, what are you waiting for? Like, what are you really waiting for? So that's the topic today. I know when I was engaged back in the day, it took about, I'd say maybe like 2.5 years, but one of those years I was pregnant. So, and then we were engaged and we had that long engagement that actually ended up not working, you know? So when Brian and I first really developed our trust in our friendship, had more to do with what we were experiencing relationship-wise at the time. I had just gotten out of my engaged relationship and then got into a relationship with someone that taught me the game, I would say. Because, whoa, they was running that thing all over my ass. I ain't even gonna lie, okay? But then I would go to my best friend, which I had never done in my life, talk to a guy. So, ladies, I would extremely advise you guys that if you are having guy problems, to what? Talk to a guy.
Yes.
Do not talk to no bitter ass friends. Do not talk to your mama because your mama ain't gonna like him. Don't talk to your siblings. Talk to your homeboys because your homeboys is gonna give you the real tea. So I was dating this guy and I was not used to this because I was not on the scene for a very long time. So I was getting played, y'all. Like, it was so bad. Like a fiddle. And then I finally got like so sick and tired of getting played that I was like, Brian, like this is what he's doing and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, oh, well, he's doing this so that it can start a fight with you. So then you'll not call him. And then he has the time to be with her. So once he started putting me on game, I started to reverse everything and kind of like take the power. And although, yes, it's a game and it was like fun for me at the time, it really taught me a lot of like, it's so predictable.
It's very predictable.
Every way. So like, why are guys so comfortable with just automatically being like, hey, I'm not ready yet? And then setting an expectation for like, okay, but I really do want to still fuck with you a little bit, you know?
I mean, basically, they want their cake and eat it too. I mean, bottom line. Look, there's a lot of guys that aren't ready, and I'm not saying they don't care, because they probably do care.
But if you're not ready, then you shouldn't date. Because if you're dating for purpose, and you're dating for marriage. So if you're not ready, then why are we dating?
Well, then that's true. I mean, you know, it's like, one thing is I'm not ready for marriage. Another one is I'm not ready to date. And if they're not ready to date, it's because
like if I'm not ready for a relationship.
Right. Then they basically want to see what else is out there. And
so if he's like, I'm really not ready for a relationship, let's kind of just go with the flow, see how it goes, take our time. Right. Is he buying time?
Yes. Oh, he's buying time. He's buying time, and he's just seeing what else is out there, bottom line. And he's not committed to you. So if you were to catch him with someone or see him with someone, well, I already made it very clear to you that I'm not ready, you know? So you can't really be mad at me.
So it can be used as a cop-out.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying to someone, hey, I'm casually dating other people, I just want you to know to make your own executive decision, we just say I'm not ready for a relationship. They don't say I'm not ready to date. They'll say I'm not ready for a relationship.
Right. But they don't want to say casually dating because it not allows you to date.
Oh yeah, and that's definitely happening.
They allow
because I
you
don't
to
know
date.
what y'all think.
You know,
this
so
is.
it's like
Oh
it's,
yes,
it's
honey,
all
we
right for
going
them
on
to
dates
date,
every weekend,
but
every
you
day.
can't. You know,
Yeah,
so
no, it don't work like that.
yeah.
So like, whenever you are dating people, like, should you go into the dating with like assumptions of what this person should be doing or the expectations of what this person should be doing? Like, should those be set off rip, or should you just be like, well, I assumed because I was with you every weekend and, you know, we're together and we're going out and seen in public that you belong to me?
I don't think you should assume anything. I think you should start off with just seeing how it goes. And then when you feel like, all right, we've been doing this for so many months now, let's either, where's this headed? You know, and then, you know, you take it from there. Because when you first meet someone, you don't know if you're going to get along. Y'all might get along for a couple of days. Who knows how it's going to be? You know, so just kind of go with the flow at first, you know, but once you've gone so many months, okay, now where do we stand at? Am I allowed to date other people, or are we just exclusive?
I would totally disagree with the go with the flow because, listen, honey, dead fish go with the flow too, okay? And no, we're not doing that. Like, there's no go with the flow. I think it's literally.
I mean, I don't think you want to put pressure on the guy. I mean, you just met him.
Why not, though?
Because that's it. Kind of. I mean, I know. I'm like, damn, man, we just met. You. I mean, next thing you know, you want to get married.
Okay, but
You
like
know?
at this stage in your life too, it's like, what kind of time you think we got?
Well, at this stage of my life right now, I will refuse to now play games. You know, I try to keep. You know, it's like I don't want. I respect women a lot more than I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I was just kind of it was a free for all. You know, I didn't give a shit about. I mean, I didn't care about their feelings.
You can curse on
Okay,
here.
all right.
I do.
Well, I didn't care about anyone's feelings. It was all about my feelings.
Right.
You know, I had been hurt before from a chick, and you know, after that, it was just like, well, you know what? I got hurt. Guess what? Now everyone else is going to get hurt. You know,
Right.
and I don't really care.
Right.
And
Until you was getting played that one time and I had to come in there and,
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been
like
played.
MJ in the fourth.
I have
Because
been
I was
played.
like, damn, son, is you all right?
Yeah, I mean,
What's
listen.
going on?
I've been
Is you
played. I've been played. I mean, but it's all a learning experience because, I mean, nobody knows how it all starts off, you know? But as I've gotten older now, I've learned to respect women. I don't want to waste their time. I don't, especially women that have kids. That's the last thing I want to do is play with their minds because I know that they are trying to, you know, they want a relationship that's going to be solid. And I don't, you know, I just don't want to mess around with a woman that has kids because I know that they're not here to play games.
Right. So
know?
if someone says to you and you're dating, ladies, I just want to take my time, I'm not ready for a relationship, you're saying listen to that, pay attention to that, because that sets the tone for how this is going to go.
Right.
Because that's what it would do for me. If you tell me I'm not ready for a relationship, okay, well,
Right.
it is what it is
Now-
at this point. That means
It's-
I can do what I want to do.
Not saying though, well, that's true, but not saying though that it couldn't alter to something more. You know what I'm saying? Because what if, all right, look, I'm telling you, I'm not ready because I'm focusing on my business. And right now, that is my main concern. Now, if you want to hang out with me and you want to, you know, chill with me, I'm fine with that.
Right.
You know, I have nothing against that, but I just don't want you to think it's going to go into anything further. And if it does go to something further, then it was just something that was meant to be, you know.
But you're
I
gonna be
just,
upfront and
but I
honest
would rather
with
be
them.
upfront and honest instead of
Now
leading them
versus before.
out. Absolutely,
Okay,
yes. I mean, I ain't got time for the games.
right.
Okay, so I would rather be upfront and not hurt somebody like I have in the past.
So when it comes to let's talk about our past a little bit because we've all played games, we've all, you know, casually dated, or what some younger folks would say their whore phase or hoe phase or whatever it is that you want to do just to be all outside. I know. What would you say when it comes to situations like that? And like, let's say the guy's constantly doing things because he's not ready to be in a relationship.
Right.
And he made it clear to you, but you're the one sacrificing, you know, dating other people and things like that for him.
Right.
That's a choice you're choosing to make. Do you feel like she has to be so forgiving? Because at some point, what happens is women become so forgiving because we're emotional creatures. We become so forgiving that we often end up giving too much of ourselves. Some, not me, honey. I'll cut you off in a second, and my block list is long as I don't know what. He could tell you it's a life sentence on that joker. No parole. So don't play yourself. But do you often, like, do you guys even recognize that? Do you recognize when she's so forgiving, she's so this, like, I know I'm going to play her?
Yes. Yes, they do. And that's why they keep it on. That's why they keep doing it. You know, because they know it's, to be honest, a woman has to make their stand at the very beginning.
But that's what I just said
right,
to do, and you were like, it's so much pressure.
No, I'm saying, I'm just saying, like, I'm not telling you to, make a stand. I'm talking about as soon as the man does something that's messed up, you have to check that right there and then. Because if you don't, it's going to continue. Right. Bottom line. And that's what I meant by that. Not putting the pressure on, well, we went on one date, so are we boyfriend and girlfriend now? Like, hold on, baby girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, like, as soon as he does that first mess up, that's something that bothers you, you need to check that right there and then. Because if not, if he can get away with it one time, he's going to do it again and again and again. It's not going to stop.
Right. So if he is, I don't know, cheating and stuff like that, and you get caught, and then she's forgiving of him, and then he does it again. It's like, okay, now because you know me. You know me and my, like, I'm cutting you smooth, clean off. Like, done. Do you often feel like sometimes being so forgiven often compromises the respect? Like, at what point does it compromise the relationship and the integrity of the relationship when one person continues to step out?
He's not respecting her, okay? And if he's going to basically step out one time and then he gets caught again doing it, it's like how many times is the girl going to forgive him? You know what I'm saying? Okay, you did it once, you did it twice, now what? It's 3 times you're out? I mean, right. When does it end? You know what I'm saying? Because is it even ever going to end?
Right.
And I'm just, it's like with guys, I mean, I think they'll push it to the limit. And if they know they can keep on and you're going to keep on coming back, you got to have respect for yourself to just say, fuck this.
Right.
I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying?
It brings me to my next little subtopic, which is like pretty privilege. So I feel like being older than a lot of the girls that you see on social media that are like, the little Instagram popping girls or whatever, I feel like sometimes people think that women of my status, where I wouldn't say you need a man would be a want, but you're an independent person.
Right.
You're not really wanting to compete or be in the same category as people that are not really on your level when it comes to dating. So I feel like with pretty privilege, and you can attest to this because we run the nightclub, there's a lot of younger girls that are holding on to superficiality and getting a man. And I feel like when it comes to women like me, it's like we often find ourselves single or whatever the case may be because we are so independent, we are alphas and things like that. But I think the misconception is we're independent in our life as far as business. Right. We're independent. But in a relationship, it's still a partnership. You know what I mean? So then you have girls that are compromising their self-worth, their self-dignity, because you'll date a guy who, like I typically date younger guys, who is, oh, I love older women, but then you get an older woman and you're like, oh shit, this is like real life, But then you've got girls that are like, well, I don't have a job. I don't have a car. I only have a baby with them. So I kind of have to do what they tell me to do because they have the money. They have the power. You have those girls there that are willing to sit there and compromise everything because he's going to cheat. He's going to do things and you have nothing. So what would you say to girls that are younger coming up? Like when it comes to pretty privilege, like, don't rely on that, sis. Like, it's not forever. It's actually fake. And it's the worst place, I think, security-wise, that you can find yourself as a woman. Like, if you are compromising your self-worth and your self-respect for the sake of a man taking care of you, then you're already dead.
Well, I can tell you right now, there are a few women that I mean I've seen that have goals, and they will not compromise. But the majority of the women that I see, the easiest way out of their lifestyle or wherever, however they're living, if they don't have anything but their looks, they're going to use that to their advantage. And if that's getting a rich athlete, and and who knows, maybe getting pregnant by them, you know what I'm saying? I think they all believe that they're going to be that
That one
one
that's going to
that's
change
them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's where they're messing up at, because what they're not understanding is that those guys, and any guy with money has, and especially if they're good looking too, can have any woman they want. You can call it tricking, you can call it whatever you want, but if you got it, it ain't. If you got the money, it ain't tricking. Okay, I mean that's the way they look at it, because either way you're paying for it somehow. If you're not, if you make it your girlfriend, you're taking her to dinner, you're buying her stuff for Christmas or birthday stuff, or you're just basically just, hey, here's $300, go do your thing, and we just whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, either way, these guys are going to have. It's easy to manipulate the younger women, and then the older women, if they're still doing that too, you know what I'm saying? They know what the hell they're doing. So I just, I mean, they're thinking they're gonna be that 1%, and
It just
it's
doesn't
not
happen.
it's not gonna happen.
So
that way.
like you made a comment and you said the younger, it's easy to manipulate them. So like in my past experiences when seeing younger women with this particular man or whatever the case may be, or I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, okay, well, you can kind of see what type of chicks they deal with when they're not being serious with you.
Right. Yeah.
It's almost like you look at them and you have like a little bit of a pity, because it's like in the society we live in, we've low key kind of contributed to them being so lost, like, and feeling like there's a validation in being cute, or I have 100,000 likes, or I got 100,000 followers. Like, and that means what, baby girl? Like, what does that mean?
Social media has done this. Social media has changed the entire world. Okay, and it has made these women think that they have to look a certain way, have to dress a certain way. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, when I was growing up, none of that even existed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like when my parents were growing up, they'll tell you, "Oh, this is my high school sweetheart." Yeah, because all
You
they
didn't
knew
know
was
nobody
they didn't know
else
nobody
but
else in that
Irma,
neighborhood.
okay?
Yeah, there was no traveling. There was none of this talking to people in other countries. That didn't exist. So times have changed big time, and social media is a big part of all this craziness.
But I think there's a workaround when it comes to social media, because I feel like if we just stop for a second and take a look at our wants for what we want in relationships, and we actually just vocalize those types of things. Like, I'm going to sit at a dinner with you and say, are you interested in getting married? If you tell me no, we ain't got nothing else to talk about, baby, because I'm walking down the aisle and you paying for it. Okay? So we don't have much else to talk about.
Right.
Or saying like, is this person, like, I'm looking at this person and I'm like, is this person husband material? And I'm going to be very honest with you. When I'm asking those questions, I'm looking at your social media. I'm looking at your Instagram, your Snapchat. I'm watching your stories because I'm watching how you are when I'm not around. That's going to tell me what I need to know.
Well, you talk about. I just want to go back. How you talked about women and how they, they're, jeopardizing their looks and stuff like that. But it also comes deeper than that, because I believe that a lot of some of these women, stuff has happened at the home too that has given them insecurities that have made them think that they're not worth anything, or they got to do this, or this is the only way they're going to get it. And I've met a lot of women that are absolutely gorgeous but have no self-esteem.
I really don't think that women understand, both young and older, that like men need us. Like, you need us. You need us to nurture. You need us to procreate. You need us to build. You need us to love. You need us. You need us for that, because y'all don't give that to each other. You know what I mean? So you need that. And it's like, if women just understood that you are the need and the man is the want. Because, I mean, that's essentially what it is. A woman can be okay being by herself. Men can't. That's why you need multiple women. See, a woman can be with one man, but one man, the odds of him being with one woman, unless it was before social media, slim to none. Slim to none. You're always looking. You know what I mean? So I think too, it's like, it brings us back to where we're like, listen, like, I need to ask these questions so that I know why am I spending my time here? And I think we don't ask those questions because we're so scared of like, ooh, we might be pressuring them. We might be rushing too fast. We might be doing this. But I feel like that's a narcissistic trait that men have put onto women to make them feel like, I shouldn't say anything because I don't want to scare them, you know? No. What are your plans? Because now what? Like, it's an or what situation. Or what?
Right.
If you don't answer my question, we don't have to talk anymore. If you don't answer me honestly and I don't feel like it's truthful, we don't have to talk anymore. But if you think you're going to waste my time, we're not going to talk.
But a lot of women will settle because they're not alphas like that. They're not dominant and aggressive like that. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying most of the women that I know are very submissive. And they will be more like, if I were to say, well, look, I'm not ready. I don't want to talk about this right now. You know what I'm saying? And even though it's upset them.
Okay, well, call me when you do.
Right. Even though it's upset them. But guess what, though? The only way to get a man to actually answer and to get him in check is basically say, look, if you're set and wanting a relationship or get married and he's putting it off, well then you're like, well, I'm leaving then. Bye. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing that's going to get his head either he's going to say, no, I don't want to lose her, or I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I don't
But
want
if
to
he
lose her,
says
or
he's
I'm
out
outta
of here, then there was never an intention to be with you forever anyway.
Exactly.
So.
No, exactly.
I think that also it's like women, I think like older women, they sometimes compromise a little bit when it comes to dating because they feel like they're in a competitive world with younger girls.
Right.
And it's like, girl, if I was your age and I had these filters, I'd be shitting on y'all all day. You know what I mean? Because we didn't have this. You know what I mean? We only got this when we're older, when I've already had a wrinkle. You didn't give me this when I had a fresh baby face, you know? So I think, too, it's like for older women, we often find ourselves in situations where we're like, well, damn, like I kind of low-key should compromise because I know there's a young girl that would, you know? But that's not me, but I'm just saying. Like, women, I have a lot of friends that are like scared to get traded in for the younger model.
Right,
and I'm like,
the new making models are coming
honey,
out.
go over there because she halfway retarded and the girl can't see. So, and don't tell her to read out loud, y'all. You know what I mean? So, like now. But I'm saying, like, when do we get to a point, even for the young girls? So, like, not hating on young girls because I don't have that complex or anything. Get it how you get it. But when it comes to young girls, I think my biggest issue is their acceptance of the bullshit has made it a lot harder to date and has changed the norm. Because now you'll hear women say, well, you have to expect him to do this. You got to expect, he's gone cheat. He's an athlete. He gone this.
But you got to understand, those young girls haven't experienced what you've gone through. So they're like going through what you went through. So they're believing these guys.
But imagine, Brian, during that time if I had the technology.
Right.
The way they have technology. Like, they can figure out anything.
That's true.
They can figure out anything.
That's true.
They know how to do everything except get off the curb straight, you know? So I think the big issue too is like that changed the norm of dating. Like, you have set an expectation on me to accept your bullshit. That's not happening.
Right.
So for me, I'm disposable with like, try me once, I'm out. Like, I'm good with you. Like, but I think that comes from what I've learned from you as like, you see the pattern.
Right.
And once you start recognize the pattern, you start predicting everything that's going to happen before it even happens.
Every move.
Like, I will literally call Brian and be like, Brian, I'm about to set him up real quick. Watch this. And then I will literally play it out to perfection, right? Yeah. And then, boom. And I'm like, you see? It's so easy.
It's very predictable.
It's so easy. I need to teach like a game class, and one thing about me, like he can attest, I'm going to find out everything. I don't have to look for it, do I?
No.
It just And I'm like, oh, look at God sending me a present,
I'm like, if you're gonna date Courtney, then you better just all of a sudden just commit. I mean, just commit. Just commit. Just don't even say, don't even try to lie. Just you're gonna have to commit. You're gonna be in a relationship or you're getting married because that's where this is leading to.
Right. Because
Okay.
we don't got
Because
the time.
the games, bro. She's the FBI. It's on you.
And I don't even check. It's like I'll be smoking my hookah at 3:45 in the morning, and I'm like,
And guys, I try to give y'all the benefit of the doubt. Trust me. I try to help everybody out here. And Courtney's like, Brian, don't do
oh,
it.
he does.
I'm like,
He'll be
I
like,
give everyone the
well,
benefit of the doubt.
Courtney, in his defense, I'm like, no, Brian. He halfway retarded and she's super stupid. Okay,
I try,
now.
guys. I try.
So now, another thing too that I would like say too, what I notice a lot of and kind of has been relevant in my life right now is like the snake stuff. Like when it comes to, we've gotten to a point where we're compromising genuine friendships for dudes that genuinely don't give a shit about you. Like it's mind-boggling. So it's like we have now changed the norm when it comes to the acceptance. We've changed the norm because you guys sit in crews where you allow this man to pick and choose you and your friends and y'all hang out. Like, I'm not hanging out with you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not dealing with you. If you deal with somebody I dealt with behind my back, we are done. You are dead to me. We have nothing to talk about. I forgive you for what you did, but stand on what you did. And stand on the snake shit that you did.
Yeah, no friendship is worth any, no guy or girl is worth ruining a friendship. I've been there. I've been there with, guy friends. And you know what? After a while, after a couple of years of, not talking, we became friends again, but it's not worth it. Your friendship, that girl or that guy is going to be there because you might be, just think about it. How many relationships have you actually been in? And how many have I been in? You know what I'm saying? Hey, none of those girls were worth it. You know what I'm saying? Over a relationship that I've had with, I've got some friends that I've been friends with since I was 15, since first grade still. Okay. And I'm 49. Okay. So.
And I would say too, it comes to like the younger generation because you see that in the younger generation. In the older generation, like myself, we ain't playing the radio with that shit. Like, you are not fucking off in a group of my friends. Like, that's not happening. Like, we done. So, and I'm gonna be done with whoever thinks that she about to deal with you next. But in the younger generation, you literally see all of them hanging out. And he's with all of y'all, or y'all are all in the same section. And it's like, I need to understand why you thought that if he messed with your friend first and then said, you know what, I want to holla at you, why you think you are the one that's going to get him to settle down? Because he already knows your loyalty and the level of it. Because why? He just watched you and allowed you to snake your homegirl. So if you're snaking your homegirl to be with him, why would he want to be with you? Because you have no loyalty. Right?
Yeah. No, exactly.
So
exactly.
That's my thing. Like, why do you guys all hang out with each other and think that this is cute and cool? Because he don't even care about any of y'all.
And this is where that comes in, where they feel they're going to be the special one that's going to take it.
Never.
So.
And you know what I find so interesting? The one that they always settle down with is which one? The one that don't take no shit. Right?
Yeah.
The one that he fears. The one that he fears losing. He fears living without, and he fears she will whoop his ass if she find out.
And that's the one that I was saying that when something happens right off the back, it gets checked with the quickness because they're going to make sure that shit don't happen again.
And if it happens again,
you're done.
Bye.
Done.
I'm out.
Exactly.
No, so I think too, it's like we have to like really just stop compromising on what we want. Like, I'm not going to compromise on what I want. I know I want marriage. I know I don't want no more kids, so don't come in my DMs. But I know I want to get married, and I want to create a union and a partnership with someone, and I want to travel and be with my best friend. Not him, ladies. You can shoot your shot, okay? Not him. I never. You ultimately want that. So I feel like in my position, I'm like, don't even talk to me if that ain't what you want, because you going to be mad. because I'm not talking to you. And you get to a level where you're like, I'm content with not being intimate. I'm content with not that because it just doesn't mean anything.
No, I got you. I got you. I mean,
But then you run into a young bitch that's ready to jump on them. So no.
but I mean, I feel you because it's like when we were trying to get lit open, the only thing I could think of was this: dating, talking to a girl, being in a relationship, just whatever was just not a priority. You know what I'm saying? It was just focusing on this. And I mean, I keep my private life private, so no one knows what's going on in my life. But I just when you have a focus, you focus on that, and then when the dating or relationship, when you're ready and you have time for that, then you move forward with it. And like I said, and I've told you this, you don't have to force it. It's just gonna happen.
Right.
Don't go looking for it. You ain't gonna I gotta find a man tonight. No, don't worry about that. The relationship will happen. Hey, it's gonna happen when it's ready.
Right.
And that's it.
And so what would you say if like a female is talking to a guy, okay, and she's made it clear what her intentions are.
Right.
And he has, we're 6 months in now. And he's starting to show you different ways and things like that are contradicting everything because let's be real, guys are very narcissistic, especially wealthier guys that have money, which is typically what all these women want these days, even though some are not equipped to be with those type of men. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
They want stability.
Right. So what would you then give or advise her to do when it comes to like, what if she's older, she's established, she's well off,
All right.
She's that builds, I can build a life with her. She done built this man up.
Right.
And now there's a younger version. Did she just waste her time building this man up for the next?
Basically, that's exactly
because
what
men don't build women up. Women build men up.
Yeah, basically that's exactly because I've seen guys that have had nothing. The woman's been there by their side. They've built them up to become successful and have ride with them the whole time. And then as soon as he starts to get a little money and starts being, driving a nicer car, nicer house, got more money, all of a sudden now routines start changing and you start peeping this stuff. And then next thing you know, he's with another chick, his little side chick, but he's still with the main one, so, some women choose to look the other way. I know if I was a woman, I wouldn't put up with it. I wouldn't look the other way, so.
Because at some point, it's like I'm severely compromising every ounce of who I am.
Right. Like as a man, would you look the other way while your girl is getting banged out?
No, they wouldn't because it's a pride thing.
Exactly.
But I even think for women, it's not even so much a pride because if you can bag him, you can have him. Like I don't want no. And I think that's the thing too. Like we're sacrificing so much for men that are literally community. Like they are for the earth. They literally, they are just like boom, 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 boom. And you're sacrificing your dignity, your integrity, your self-worth, your self-value, friendships.
Yeah.
You're sacrificing so much for a man that is not even treating you right.
Yeah. I tell women, don't even ever sacrifice your career. Don't ever sacrifice your career over no man. Don't expect a man to take care of you. You need to if you got a career and you're focused on something, focus on that. Don't expect a man to take care of you because that man could come and go and leave whenever. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your career and let because who the hell wants to? I know it sounds great to, my husband, he makes all this money and I just stay home and I'll watch the kids or I go shopping.
But it's like no purpose.
Yeah, it's like you have no purpose. You need I can't even imagine retiring because I think if I retire, I think I'm going to die. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like there's nothing to do.
Right.
It's like I got to have something to do constantly or I feel like I'm just not being productive.
And I don't want any of the younger girls that watch this podcast to think like, oh, KP's bashing the young girls. She must be a hater. Because that's not the case. My real intention is to tell y'all you have got to start recognizing the signs of, I'm not ready for a relationship. We ain't got to put no title on it. I'm not trying to do it right now. That's not on my mind.
Just your self-worth.
Like, you're
You know?
compromising your self-worth. You're compromising your dignity,
Right.
your integrity, your like value. Like, you're letting this person with this monetary, advantage over you basically say, I can buy every ounce of who you are and strip you for this amount. Because when he takes off, he's taking all of that with him. Because now you're like lost. Because you don't know where to go, what to do, how to survive. Because you've given that power over. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to think that in any way, shape, or form I'm bashing younger girls. My thing is, the younger generation has changed the norm when it comes to dating. Because we in our older generations expect people to say, come healed. We expect people to come to us, come healed, come happy, come stable. We know that takes until your 30s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting a 23-year-old to be happy, healed, and stable. Like, really? Okay. We know that in your 20s, you're going to party, you're going to live your life. We know that in your 30s, you're going to be like starting to find yourself. By 35, you should have yourself together. And then you go and you've already set your expectations.
Right.
So you know exactly what you're going to get married later, things like that. So I think that's why it's so important. It's like, don't waste your best years. If you want to date and date casually, do that.
And listen,
And it's okay.
I advise
You're not
that.
a hoe. You're not being a hoe. Now you being a hoe if you got too much going on at one time. But you are allowed to casually date. And I think that if people just casually dated a little bit more instead of, accepting all these promiscuous relationships and dealing with that, we would be able to then see what it is that we want, who we are, what we wouldn't have so many people catching bodies left and right.
I mean, I advise every young man and woman in their teens and 20s to just date and just have a good time and just
Not
enjoy
be a
life.
hoe, just
Not
have
be
a
a
good
hoe,
time.
but just, have a good
'Cause
time.
it's the
You know what I'm saying?
disease.
Because, I mean, you got your entire life to get married, okay? Your 20s, you're only young once, okay? Enjoy your youth. Have a good time. Just enjoy life. Like she said, don't be a hoe, but just enjoy life. When you get into your 30s, you're going to get a little bit more established. And that's when you can start taking things a little more serious, because I know women start thinking about having babies and all that kind of stuff. So, in your 30s, start then. But 20s, just enjoy life.
Yeah, but in your 20s also, like,
Just don't get manipulated.
right. And that's a big thing, though, that you see when you're like, okay, so it's like you got these younger guys that want to date older women. And they think that we here for the shit. Until we be like, let me tell you how this is going to go. Because this is what you about to do. Okay? And then they're so caught off guard because now you're acting like mom. And it's like, oh, just been here before, homeboy. Then you've got older guys that are dating younger girls. I'm sorry, but to me, if you are above 35 and you can date anything under the age of 30, you're really like, I don't really see a future with her, but we just gonna play this out.
I mean, that's basically what the majority of men are doing, and they're probably married too. They're probably married.
We're not even going there,
They're probably married, okay?
Do you feel like it's the older guys that are easier to manipulate the younger girls, which then when these younger girls get with like these people more around their age, they've already been so traumatized by everything else that they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to accept anything at this point.
I mean, that's a possibility, or they can learn from their experience, like we've been learning.
Like me. And then you become FBI private eye. No. But I think it's important, and I developed this and I understood it, and I came to grips with my self-worth and self-value, I would probably say in my early like 30s, like late 20s, early 30s, because I was in a relationship with somebody for a very long time. But when I was casually dating, it didn't take me very long to realize if I continued to do these things,
Right.
I was going to continue to deal with those same things. Now, if I deal with it now, it's like, I didn't really see him as, I'll tell Brian, like, that was not my name. Okay. That was not my man. Okay. He was for everybody. But you get to a point where you're like, I've been here before. And now I think I'm at the point where it's like, the games were cool before.
Right.
You know, they're fun to go back and forth.
Yeah.
They're, but you get to a point where it's like, you don't even think about intimacy like that the same. Like,
Your
you're
whole
just
thought
like, yo, I
process.
just have no time for the bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I mean, as we get older, it's like everything is just your priorities
chill.
change.
Like-
Your priorities change. It's not in your 20s or like, oh, I gotta go and meet a girl tonight and hit. You know what I'm saying? No, it's everything's changed. I mean, your priorities change. You're trying to be established, run a business, and some of these things that were priorities when we were younger are the last things on our mind. And you want somebody that's going to be on the same level as you, so that you can elevate yourself. So.
And I think too, a lot of what we go through too is like, as women, we often find ourselves, I don't know about other women, but it's like, I probably could speak for most. We find ourselves doing those wife things to people that we're not married to, because you almost get in this feeling like it's an interview stage, like, okay, is he going to see how I am with the kids? Is he going to see how I am?
Yeah,
I cook. Is he going to see, that I do this? When in all actuality, I really be feeling like, why the fuck am I cooking for you? Like, you just lied to me. You could fucking starve, okay? Like, you can choke on your own spit, homeboy. But you know what I mean? Like, we often find ourselves, and I think that's another thing that we as women need to do. Stop giving so much of ourselves. Like, stop giving so much of, I need to be this way. I need to show him I'm a woman. I don't need to show you nothing. You show me. You show me commitment, I'll show you wife.
Just be yourself. Just be yourself and just let things.
Yeah, but there's no be yourself
you know-
if it's like, I'm hungry and he's like, I'm not ready to be in a relationship. Okay, well, bitch, what would you do if I wasn't here?
Yeah.
You would DoorDash, so I need you to have that same energy and apply that to that app. Okay, because I don't know what you hungry. You
Yeah.
might want to eat, but I think women need to stop doing that. I'm not interviewing for you. I told you I can cook. I got 2 kids. They ain't hungry. They ain't missing a meal. I don't have to cook for you to prove I'm woman enough to be with you.
Correct.
I don't have to clean your house. I don't have to do those things. So I think women need to stop doing that. If we want to take back and change the dating game, we do it on our own. Because they gonna keep fucking off, ladies. Like, as long as we allow them to, they're going to keep doing it. So if you get to a point where you're like, I value myself. Like, I've literally told someone the only thing I should have ever done better was respected myself more.
Right.
And left the entire conversation on that. Did immediate block after that, because I don't want to hear what you have to say. Because I'm petty like that. Like, I'll block you in the middle of you writing and I don't care. I don't want to hear it. But we have to stop doing those things. We got to stop playing the wife without commitment. We got to stop playing the girlfriend when you want to date everybody. You get my time when I got time. Don't talk to me about time. Don't ask me. Don't say, you won't never make time for me. You're not committed to me. I don't have to make time for you.
That's true.
And I think that's where I'm at, which makes my dating life so hard. Because I'm like, I really need you to explain to me why I have to do those things, though. Like, why
And-
should I?
And they're used
Like, you're
to-
not paying
right,
my
yeah.
mortgage, my bills. And that's another thing. Like, people will look at my life and they'll be like, oh, she talks to dudes with money. I've never tricked off for a single thing. And this is my best friend in his whole life. He can attest to that. I've never tricked off for none of my properties, none of my assets, like nothing. I've gotten everything from the bottom. So we have to stop putting so much of us into them and giving them so much. Like, you want food? you want sex, you want me to not do other people, then you commit. You commit, you eat. You don't commit, I don't know what you're gonna do. But would you agree or not? Like,
No, I mean,
women we gotta pull back.
I
Some.
mean, if you want to get a commitment from a man, you know what I'm saying?
Don't show your whole hand.
Yeah, and I mean, and if he has been putting it off, how much longer is it going to get put off until you put your foot down?
Right.
You know? Okay, I mean, all right, he put it off the first time, but how many years do we got to go, or months or years until he commits? Then that right there is now on you. You got to make the decision on what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to stay with him or and keep on catering to him, or say, you know, fuck it, I ain't catering to him no more. I'm going to do me now, you know?
So we'll leave and start ending with this. I think what the moral of this story is, value yourself
Yes.
more than anything. If you compromise your dignity and your integrity for the sake of a man being able to do you how he wants to do you at any age, you are going to kill yourself internally. And it is going to be a hard road to recover from. Also, date with intention. Date with purpose. What are we doing? Are we dating to marry? Or are we dating to waste time? Because there's nothing worse than wasted time and wasted money.
True.
You know, time is one thing you'll never get back, though. Money, you can't.
Right.
And then I would say, like, to a man, like, what I'm requiring and what I'm expecting in this person that I may potentially commit to, am I willing to give the same exact in return?
I mean, there's
Am
a lot-
I a husband and am I a wife? Because at this point in your life, you're dating to be a husband. I'm dating to be a wife. So am I a wife? I know I'm a wife. I know that. But I don't have to prove that to you, nor do I have to compromise my self-worth for it. And that's the generation we live in now when it comes to the dating game. We have to stop compromising integrity, dignity, friendships, people, relationships with family, whatever it is, for people that are not meant to be. You have to understand, sometimes people are meant to be that distraction. They're meant to come in and break it down and break it up.
I mean-
Don't let them come in between those things.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone's put in your life for a reason. And I think every relationship it happens for a reason. It's either something that you want or you know you're not going to want. You know, but everyone's put in there for you to learn something from that. So whatever relationships you're in, you're going to learn it's either going to be a good or bad, you know, but you'll move forward.
It's either a blessing, honey,
Right.
or a lesson, honey. Okay? But don't waste time. And I think it's okay to be single for a long time and not feel like you have to be in a relationship because you're not compromising. I'm not compromising my shit. I don't
And-
care
and
what.
you're-
I'll be single.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, I'll be single. I'd rather be than deal with that.
Exactly.
I'd rather be single than deal with what I see.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining us tonight. I would like to give a special thank you to Jack Daniels, Herradura, and Live 21, to my partner in crime, Be Money. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. We will see you again next Tuesday. KP out.